Still about 2 weeks to spring here, and about 6 weeks before our spring turkey season starts. But I'm out here on one of my favorite public land haunts, doing a little homework, just checking around, seeing if I can't find some turkey sign, spot a few birds, get ready to set up a few spots for the season when it opens. But that's not the only reason I'm out here today. Another reason I'm out here is Dana got me this new handheld GPS for Christmas, because my old one was getting pretty beat up, hard to read the screen, it was all scratched up. So I'm out here logging a few of my deer hunting trees that I have scouted, so they're in my new unit. And I got to thinking, this spring, because I do a lot of deer scouting while I'm scouting for turkeys as well in the spring, I'm going to start a little scouting series. Now I'm going to find 4 or 5 locations this spring that I haven't hunted before, and I thought it would be neat to not only share with you why I'm picking these locations, but also to follow through the summer as I keep tabs on the area, check it for sign, and then next fall when I start hunting. I've already shown you all this spot. This was a spot I was going to hunt last fall, but I didn't. So we're going to call this spot 1 since it's still virgin. I'll be in here this year, if I can, trying to hunt this spot. But right now, let's go take a look around, see if we can't find a few new spots. So it's a beautiful early spring morning. The woods are still pretty bare. A few of the flowering trees are just starting to bloom. So I made my way up here to listen for some turkeys. I'm on a piece of public land that I have never hunted for deer before. I've hunted back here for turkeys, but I never see much deer sign back here, so I've never really gotten back in here and hunted it. Now, I didn't hear any birds this morning, but the morning's not a total waste, and I'll tell you why. Because I'm back in an area where me and Michael were squirrel hunting last year, and I found some sign that I think needs a better look for this coming deer season, and it's right up over here. I have never hunted deer back in here because I've never seen a lot of deer sign, and I don't see many deer back here. But last winter when me and Michael were squirrel hunting back in here late season, we got way back in here, got up on this oak ridge looking for squirrels just wandering around, and we found this cluster of rubs on top of this beautiful oak ridge. It's 200-300 yards long, just covered with red and white oaks, and it looks pretty good. Now, I'll admit, if my knee's questionable, it's going to be tough getting back in this far with all my gear, but I really like the setup because where these rubs are, it's on the edge of the wood line. There's 2 trails that meet right here, coming from the southeast and the northeast, and they come out of 8 to 10 acres of just thick, overgrown second growth full of briars. Now, I wandered around back in there a little this morning, and there's some nice rubs back through that stuff too, so I'm pretty sure there's probably at least 1 buck using it as a bedding area. Also, about 50 yards down the ridge here, a stand of really mature white oaks, a big cluster of them. So I'm thinking I'll have to climb up the ridge from the west and hunt this on an east wind, so the wind's blowing out of the bedding area. But I think it might be worth the effort. So I'm going to call this spot number 2. I'm going to be back in here later this summer and take another look around. And the added plus is, when I was coming up here this morning, I jumped 2 deer back down here to the south. So I know it can be hard to find a good east wind spot, but I think this might work out. I'm going to come back in here and see if there's any droppings or other sign later this summer. Right now, I'm going to head back and hit the fields back a little closer to where I parked the truck, see if I can't find any turkey sign. I tell you what, some of these hills are no joke. So the old knee's holding up, but I know it won't forever. So some of you younger guys, like Urban Outdoors DMV, who are thinking about maybe trying to get started hunting, I would say do it sooner than later if you're really interested in getting out in the woods and doing some hunting, because you're not getting any younger. I know my days are numbered. I'm gonna keep it up as long as I can, but just trying to get up this hill to this field is killing me. But get out there, give it a try. And some of you guys out there looking for some other outdoor content, check out his channel, Urban Outdoors DMV. And while you're at it, why not give our friends over at Corey's Whitetail Woods a look too. They do a lot of deer hunting over there. They're already out there hunting. Urban Outdoors DMV does a lot of fishing around the Delmarva region. So give those channels a look, and I'll get up this hill and be back with more in just a minute. Well, I covered quite a few miles this morning. I didn't hear or see any turkeys, and I just got done walking the edge of a couple fields. I didn't find any tracks along the edge of the field, no scratch, no droppings, so I'm probably going to write this area off for the spring season. But that's why we scout, and that's why we get scouting early in the season before it opens, because if you can eliminate the unproductive areas, the areas that are left should offer the opportunity for a good hunt. Now the good news is I did get back in there on that ridge line where me and Michael had been squirrel hunting last fall, and I confirmed it's probably going to be a pretty good setup to try for deer when the season opens next fall. I know it seems a little early to start scouting for deer, but I've got 2 spots picked out already, and I can't wait for September. So make sure you subscribe to us here on Sharing the Outdoors at YouTube, because I'm going to be out here scouting for a couple more spots for next fall, as well as doing some turkey hunting. And you won't want to miss the videos when we get the cameras out in the woods for those turkey hunts. We've also got a lot of great fishing coming up. Things are starting to get ready to green up, and they're stocking the trout in the local streams. So remember, it's never too soon to start scouting, and it's never too late to take up hunting.